You're watching NFL Daily presented by Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping on all of Manscaped's top-of-the-line products when you go to manscaped.com/chat and use promo code chat to get 20% off and that free shipping. We're going to break down the top free agents left, and hopefully no one else gets signed while we film, but that happens. Before we do that, I want you guys to shout out your favorite team and who you want them to sign. So it's a two-step process there. Let me know. Favorite team and who you want them to go out and sign. Number 20, Bryce Callahan, the nickel corner. The Denver Broncos signed Quan Williams. So Callahan, who is getting older, is now a free agent. That should make him an appealing target for any team in the market for a good corner who's not going to break the bank. Number 19 here is Jarvis Landry. As Landry, there's some buzz. Maybe he goes back to Cleveland. Not sure I buy that one there. He's aging. He is not the same guy he was in his prime. He is a slot-only player. Because of that, maybe it's not the most likely outcome that he gets big money, but of the receivers out there, he certainly is intriguing. Number 18, Akiem Hicks, who is admittedly an aging defensive lineman and isn't what he was at his peak, but, not that he's not Ndamukong Suh, but we've seen guys like Suh spend a long time in the NFL being a good mercenary. I wonder if Hicks could be the exact same way. Trey Flowers now, number 17 on this list, the former Lions edge rusher, once got $17 million per year. Interestingly enough, the edge rusher market hasn't, outside of the top guys, it's kind of stagnated around that number. It's kind of what Chandler Jones got, what Von Miller actually got on his deal from the Bills. Now, Flowers is not the same guy, but if you're looking for a rotation piece, I do believe he could help you. He's there at number 17. Number 16, much like Flowers, rotational edge rusher piece. He's not a star, Derek Barnett. He was a first-round pick, has had some flashes, some moments, some ability, but he's not somebody that I really, truly trust in terms of being a high-end edge player. Rotation piece, absolutely. Full-time starter, it's probably not what you're going to get at this stage in NFL free agency. If you haven't already, please subscribe. This is your one-stop shop for everything going on around NFL free agency, the draft, the offseason, in-season, you name it, we got you covered. So if you haven't already, head down there and subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. All right, Melvin Gordon is next up here. 15th on our list, the maybe best running back on the market. Gordon can still be a 1A or a 1B, maybe more of a 1B, but teams don't want to pay big money to running backs, and the market kind of dried up quickly. So Gordon, I would not rule out a return to Denver, which would break the hearts of fantasy owners everywhere. All right, Dwayne Brown next up here. He is old. Don't get me wrong, he's an older football player, but he can still start for you at left tackle. That is the reality of the situation for Dwayne Brown. He can be an instant impact piece for you on the offensive line. I think he's got 1, 2, maybe 3 more years left, but he can still help you on your offensive line. So if you're a team in the market for a left tackle, Brown's one of your best guys out there. Melvin Ingram, who was, as a reminder, dealt mid-season from the Steelers to the Kansas City Chiefs in the offseason, or at the trade deadline, I should say. Excuse me here. I like the idea of adding him as a rotational edge rusher piece. I think Melvin Ingram can still help you on that side of the football. He's not what he was in his prime. Most of these guys, out of maybe the top 3 or 4, it's not what they were in their prime. But edge is always needed. To get more help there, that's awesome for me. Eric Fisher is next up here. And this is, I think, one of the best, and I'm going to double check my notes, the best offensive tackle left on the open market. I wonder if he goes back to Indy. I think Fisher wanted more than what Indy was willing to offer him. And he has not found that yet on the open market. So because of that, I think that he could go back to Indy. But if you want a left tackle, that's your best guy out there, I would argue, by a bigger gap than maybe 14 versus 12 suggests, but that's the talent level and the age difference too. Number 11, Gronk himself. He just goes back to Tampa, right? Like that's my prediction. He goes play with Tom Brady or he retires. Like one more year, run it back in Tampa Bay with Brady and try to win a title. They, of course, re-signed Cam Brate. O.J. Howard's gone, so tight end, yes, is a need. But, he's still Gronk. He will forever be Gronk. Now, Gronk would love this question. I want you, request, I should say, spam balls in the chat as today's show is presented by our sponsor, Manscaped. You can get the Lawnmower 4.0, trim those balls up nicely. You can also get the Ultra Premium Collection. That's body spray, body wash, shampoo, and conditioner, because why use two things when one thing does trick? 20% off and free shipping on the Ultra Premium Collection, Performance Package, all of it at manscaped.com/chat. Get the 20% off and the free shipping right now. Check the comment section and the description. We'll put that link and the promo code for you down there. Number 10, Kyle Van Noy, the linebacker / edge rusher. Patriots cut him. It made producer Jack get down in his feelings real bad. But I do like the idea of having Van Noy as a rotational piece depending on what scheme you run. I think he's a bit scheme specific, but he's always been productive across his entire NFL situation. Anthony Barr is next up here, number 9 on our list. And Barr's an interesting player. He's not going back to Minnesota. They added Zadarius Smith and Jordan Hicks, so there goes his roles. The Jets were going to sign him as kind of an edge rusher. Could he do that at this point in his NFL career? I'm not so sure. I wonder where he goes. I don't think he's going to be as expensive as the name recognition might suggest. But yeah, I would have some interest in Anthony Barr. Calais Campbell, number 8 on our list, the defensive tackle here. I like Campbell a lot. I think he is aging, don't get me wrong, but he's still a really good football player along the defensive line. Is he going to be the peak Campbell? No, he's not. And we know how the NFL doesn't like to give big money to aging football players. But yeah, Campbell is still useful. He's still helpful for you along that front. So I would not be surprised if he went back to the Baltimore Ravens, but I think he'd be a good pickup. I was surprised when the Browns cut J.C. Tretter. Is Nick Harris their guy moving forward at center? Maybe, maybe not. I think he is the best offensive lineman left on the board. We are starting to get into the young top guys are kind of gone, but the older guys who can still start and won't be as expensive are also out there at this point. Number 6, Julio Jones, the wide receiver. I am concerned that Julio's kind of washed. His last 2 years have been worse than almost any year of his entire NFL career. That's not good if you're Julio Jones. And the injuries have added up over the season. So is it a lock that he's washed up? No, of course not. I would still gamble on if I need a receiver. That's why he's 6 on our list. But this is not prime Julio Jones here. All right, who is the top free agent left? I've got my top 5 here coming up, but I want to hear from you guys first. Head down to the comment section. Let me know who is the top free agent left on the open market. Number 5, Odell Beckham Jr. Did the Chiefs go get him now? The Packers didn't have the money last year because they were paying Randall Cobb too much. Did he go back to the Rams? Do the Browns bring him back now that they've moved on from Baker Mayfield? And maybe. I think there will be some interest in Odell Beckham, but I don't know if he's going to break the bank coming off the injury. One thing I know to be true, and maybe I'll reverse jinx it here, Jadeveon Clowney never signs quickly. That is not what he does. He takes his time. He waits like he doesn't like training camp or something or off-season workouts, whatever. I think going back to the Browns is still a very real possibility for Clowney, but he is by a significant margin the top edge left on the open market. Is he ever going to be a double-digit sack guy? Maybe one day, but he's not bad. And that does carry value as a high-end edge too. You're talking, $10 million or more per year for Clowney. About Tyrann Mathieu. Chiefs, I guess, are not going to bring him back because they went out and paid Justin Reed, which I'm fine with. But the Chiefs let him leave. Plenty of teams need safety help. And Mathieu is in a unique situation of being a third-time high-paid safety. Is he aging? Yeah. Should a team sign him? Hell yeah, of course they should. All right, Bobby Wagner, the linebacker. The Seahawks cut him because they're rebuilding. Call it what it is there. Wagner is not what he was at his peak. I believe the decline has begun to set in for Bobby Wagner. But you can still pay him $220. I think that's fine for Bobby Wagner. It's not that bad. He was going to make $20 from Seattle. Hypothetically, of course, they did not give it to him. If you can add Wagner to your defense, you're still getting a damn good starter and a highly intelligent veteran leader as well. At number 1, it is Stephon Gilmore. As Gilmore has been out there for a while, I think his market has regressed the past 2 years. The Patriots didn't want to pay him. They got Little back in a trade. He was good, not great in Carolina. He's getting up there in age in terms of being a high-end player for you. So, Gilmore's my number 1 guy. We'll see where he goes. There are still plenty of teams. There are always teams who need cornerback help.